In the last political science class, we have studied about social justice and equality. Today, I will be discussing with you provisions related to empowerment of women and the role of judiciary in dispensing social justice. Empowerment of women was given more importance by the central government and state governments after the independence. Both the levels of government made utmost efforts to improve the literacy rate of women. Now, let me ask you one question: what is literacy? Literacy is a situation in which people are able to read, write their mother tongue after the age of 7. Now let us see some provisions passed by Government of India in order to protect or in order to empower women. The first one is Dowry Prohibition Act. Dowry is a social curse. In order to stop dowry system in India, Government of India has passed Dowry Prohibition Act. As per this act, no person is supposed to ask dowry from the would-be wife. Another provision in order to empower women was passed by Government of India is Prohibition of Domestic Violence Act. Women are not protected in the four walls of house. Sometimes they are harassed by male members as well as female members of the family. In order to protect women from this, government has passed one act, Prevention of Domestic Violence Act. As per this, women are given protection by the government. The right to have equal share of property of father and husband is another step in order to empower women. Another act with regards to empowerment of women is prevention of sexual harassment. This is also a good step towards empowering women in India. Government has taken some steps in order to bring women in the administration of India. As per this act, government has brought women to the mainstream of administration of India. For example, 1/3 of seats of local self-government has been reserved for women. Maharashtra has gone to little more ahead by reserving 50% of seats in the local self-government bodies, including other 8 states of India. It is a very good step for women to actively involve in the administration of local self-government. It will boost their confidence in public life. Now let us see role of judiciary in strengthening democracy in India. In order to understand that, we must study something about our constitution. We all know constitution is a book of law in which the rules and regulations of a country is written. India has the lengthiest constitution in the world. Constitution is dynamic. What do you mean by dynamic? Dynamic means it is subjected to change. So, as per the needs of the society, the laws which is written in the constitution can be changed or modified. In technical way, we say constitution can be amended or reformed. Some laws can be amended, some laws can be cancelled. That is what we mean to say constitution is dynamic. Who makes these laws? It is the power of parliament to make such laws. While making laws, parliament must see that the laws are not breaking the basic principles of constitution. If any law passed by parliament which breaks the basic structure of constitution, then the court can interfere in this matter. Court can declare such laws as anti-constitutional or null and void. So it is the power of the court to interfere in the affairs of parliament when it makes a law which is anti-constitutional. It is a very important power which is given to Indian court. Especially it is done by Supreme Court of India. This same thing is followed in America as well. Let's see some of the important subjects on which the court has given judgment in order to dispense justice. One is right of children. Second one is protection of human rights. Third one, protection of honor and dignity of women. On individual freedom and on tribal empowerment. Now we are going to conclude the lesson by discussing some of the features of good governance. Governance means rule. The first feature of a good governance is accountable or responsible government. Government should be accountable to the people of India. They should be responsible to the people. Second feature of good governance is effective and efficient government. Government should be effective and efficient in dealing with the people. The third one is responsive government. What do you mean by responsive government? Responsive government means, government should be answerable to the people of India. Government is formed by the decision taken by the people of India. So, government should be responsive. Another main feature of good governance is transparency. We all know what is the meaning of transparency, openness. Government should be open towards the people. Each and every policy of government should be open to the people of India. It should be clear to the people of India. Another one is, another feature of good governance is it should be just and all-inclusive development should be there. What do you mean by all-inclusive development? Development should be there from the grassroots level to the uppermost strata of the society. And the last feature of good governance is people's participation in the governing and decision-making process. Government must encourage people participation in all its matters. By this lesson is over. So let us see the next lesson in another day.